All right, guys. I'm not sure what part this is. I think it's part 6 because I remember I did part 4 on Sunday, part 5 on Tuesday. So I think this will be part 6, but I'm not 100% sure. It's really easy for me to lose track. But yep. Now I did do a lot of gameplay off screen, but I didn't do any gameplay to progress the game. I just went back through a couple of paths. It helps to make money and get EXP and even grub. So yes. Except this one, I wanted to do the risky shortcut on camera. And I think we're finally ready, so let's try it out. Everyone's wearing woolly clothing except for Manton. Risky shortcut. Ooh, and that's right. I think we get a treasure chest, like like one of the major equipment treasure chests. Yes, thank you for helping me out. Ooh, fuck yeah. There you go, Manton. You gotta do it again. And one of the griffins is already destroyed. See, that was easy. That wasn't so hard. Now was it? All right, who gets equipment? All right, I'm gonna give it to you, Green Ethan, because you need it more than I do. For me, the scientist job is just temporary. For you, it's permanent. So yeah, I'm probably gonna talk more about autism in this episode because there is some stuff that I left out, and I'll probably find something else to talk about. I'll probably just talk about food and just whatever. Okay, there's another spot that I want to go through, but before we do the incantation. Fuck. I have the hiccups. Yeah, we definitely need to wait. Okay, thank God. I do want to try to save some money for Realm of the Face, so I don't want to like spend all of it on equipment. I mean, I may still spend a few more times, but I want to try to be careful. Oh, the moles. That's right. All right, let's just get them out of the way first. It should be easy. I mean, they're a pain in the ass because they dodge attacks, but they can't dodge like snorts or like magic attacks. Look, they're already defeated. But we do have a second round of moles. We'll just use the unstable formula. All right. Yep, that was easy. See, this is what happens when you go back and clear paths. It makes progressing the game a lot easier. Now, I'm probably going to focus on Miami more when it comes to speed because scientists have the highest speed. Princesses have pretty high speed too, but not as much as scientists. From what I've seen, scientists, cats, and clerics are tied with the highest base speed. And that also means the highest max speed because, you know, plus 909, or not 999, plus 99 still on all of them, obviously keeps everyone in the same place. So yeah, I'm just saying in general, clerics, cats, and scientists have the highest speeds pretty much. I'm gonna be a... Oh yeah, and then we'll have like a warrior. Moose will be a warrior. Warriors have pretty slow speed, so once he... Oh my gosh, yes, shut up. I just started 8 minutes ago, come on. Once Moose gets here, we're gonna... Yeah, and he doesn't even like the Sundays. We're gonna have to focus on Moose a lot for the speed because warriors have a pretty slow speed. So Moose will once I have my main team all together after we rescue all the faces, Moose will be last. Moose will go last. Alright. Incantation. Well, I'm not sure. We still have a few more battles to go, but we're almost there. That red goblin held on. So, yep. It's almost Thanksgiving. 6 days. My dad is off for. My dad is off until. My dad is off for like 10 days. He doesn't go back to work until next Monday. Not the Monday in like coming up in 3 days, because that's his Thanksgiving break, but he doesn't go back until the Monday after Thanksgiving, which is the 28th, I believe. Yep, things are getting expensive. Right now, I'll just focus on Ethan because he's a main and it's the permanent job. The others can wait until later on. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one because the Mott show is cursed. Manton and I can wait. Once I get the princess job, then I'm gonna be focused a lot more on getting gowns and fans and whatnot. But for now, it just feels like, I mean, don't get me wrong, you still need good equipment so you're not underpowered, but after a while, it just gets to be a waste of money. So yeah, the one thing I don't really like about my dad being off is it's harder to sleep in. It's a lot harder to sleep in like on weekends and other days my dad has off, is because he's always up and around and making noises, and that keeps me up. Like, that wakes me up and keeps me up. So it's a lot harder to sleep in on those days. But the good thing about it is sometimes, like, particularly like for longer breaks like Thanksgiving and Christmas, I love it because we go out to eat, and I enjoy that so much. We did it a lot for Christmas break in December, and it was just so much fun. I remember we went to Burger King, we went to Fuddruckers, we went to Carumba's. It was just so fun. It feels like we also went to another restaurant. Oh, well, me and my dad, we actually went to Huddle House. Like, it was on Christmas, like, I think it was on, like, in the early morning of Christmas Eve or the day before, but him and I went to Huddle House. And ate breakfast. Because he had to go to Walmart and do some Christmas shopping for family. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I really missed December of last year. It was so fun. And we went to my uncle's on like December 18th for Christmas, for a Christmas party, and then we went to my grandma's on Christmas Eve. I really missed the shit out of. A lot of people say 2021 sucks, but I honestly miss it. I think a lot of people just miss like the older days, and I don't blame them. But that doesn't make like the newer days bad. I mean, 2020 I get because of the you know what, but I will get bananas though, since they're cheap, and I want to have bananas for my Miis to eat so they get more efficient. So I will get bananas. Plus, we all know how much our Miis love bananas. Unfortunately, we won't be having a Christmas party at Uncle's anymore. Because he passed away earlier this year, but yeah. That's why I'm a little apprehensive. I guess you can say about the holidays, because I feel like they're not going to be the same anymore, and I know it's going to be depressing for my grandparents, and then it may like project, like, I don't know how to explain it, but mood can be contagious, so I'm afraid that's going to affect us negatively. And sometimes people may take their negative feelings out on other people, so that's another reason. I'll probably talk more about this later, or at least talk about it again later, like when Thanksgiving gets closer or after Thanksgiving, but I'm a bit skeptical for Thanksgiving, especially this year, because of what I just said about. And this goes for Christmas, and this goes for like Christmas get-togethers too, but yeah, that's one of the reasons, is because it may be a little depressing this year without my uncle. And I know it may get my grandparents in a bad mood. The other reason hasn't happened in a while, but it still makes me apprehensive, and it's because I always get worried that I'm afraid I always get worried that I'm gonna be forced to eat turkey, which I don't like turkey. I love ham, I love stuffing, I love rolls. Those are my favorite Thanksgiving dishes, but I'm always, no, not this shit. But I'm always scared that I'm going to be forced to try the turkey, even though my family knows that I've never liked it. Listen, guys, it doesn't matter. Like, not everyone has to eat turkey. It doesn't matter what you eat as long as you spend it with your loved ones. Alright, guys, like, please don't force someone or shame people for not liking turkey. Ham is much better. And I have 2 friends who also don't like turkey. My friend Ash doesn't like turkey. He feels the same way as me. He much rather have ham. And then Green Ethan, actually, he also doesn't like turkey. So I'm not alone. I hate how you have to be forced to eat a certain dish just because it's like the signature dish. Like, screw that. Not everyone likes turkey. That's like forcing someone to eat chocolate on Valentine's Day just because it's like a signature thing you eat. Now, don't get me wrong, I love chocolate. And I do want to eat chocolate on Valentine's Day. It's just another example. I couldn't really think of another example. I'm not saying people are forced to eat chocolate on Valentine's Day, but like I said, it's just an example because that is a signature thing associated with Valentine's Day that is consumable. Yeah, we are slowly running out of money. But the good news is Ethan's kicking ass with getting lab gear. But yeah. Again, it hasn't happened in a while, but I still keep my guard up when it comes to it. Alright, so the incantation should be pretty soon. The other thing that I get apprehensive is being forced to pray. Now, no offense to any of you religious people out there, if you consider yourself like a believer, or if you're just like a religious or devout or just whatever, I mean, no offense to you. But religion and God is just not my thing. So I'm always and like getting involved in that makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. That's one of the reasons why I plan to write a book about the harms of religion. Because I want to raise awareness on why it's harmful. And one of the things I'm going to mention is that it's often forced on people. That's going to be one of the things I mention. And if I am forced to pray next week, that will probably be when I start my book. Because it'll be a good way to vent and let out all those negative emotions. Mind you, since this book is a little controversial, it's gonna be a lower priority, and I'm gonna wait until later on in life to post it, but that doesn't mean I can't get started on it early. The earlier I get started on it, the more I can actually work on it. And it's gonna need to have a lot of work if I want to handle it in the correct manner. Yeah. We are burning through money. So yeah. Those are the two main reasons why, or actually 3 main reasons, because including the one involving the lack of Uncle Junior. So yeah, those are the 3 main reasons why I'm apprehensive for Thanksgiving and even Christmas to an extent. I'm not as worried about Christmas as I am about Thanksgiving, though. We didn't even have turkey on Christmas last year. My dad cooked chili. I didn't eat it. I don't like chili. Who cooks chili on? I guess I sound like a hypocrite because, like I said, it doesn't really matter what you eat. I was just a bit disappointed because I like ham. I want ham, not chili. Or turkey for that matter. I just want ham and stuffing and rolls. That's the best food you can have in my opinion, on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Oh, here we go. We're gonna do the incantation. But yeah, something I didn't mention in Tuesday's video about autism is that another issue that people disregard is that people with autism, they suffer from what is called executive dysfunction. Now it's executive dysfunction is basically there are different executive functions. One of them is organization, the other is motivation. It's hard to explain, but it's basically characterized by motivation. Executive function is motivation, so executive dysfunction is the lack of motivation. And if that's something I struggle with. I struggle with different types of executive dysfunction. Motivation is one of them. Hell, that's probably actually one of the reasons why I don't do certain videos very often, or when I say I do videos but I don't, is because of my lack of motivation to do so. Another example is another type of executive function is organization. That's something I struggle with. Like, oh my gosh, I was horrible when it comes to organization. Which that can fall under motivation, but I'm just saying. For some people, executive dysfunction is so bad that they can't even go to bed. That's how bad it is for some people. Like, I remember I saw someone vent because their executive dysfunction was preventing them from going to sleep. I prefer the Tower of Despair, thank you very much. But yeah, we're going to go back to whatever this is called, the next door town, I guess. Oh yeah, he's going to keep rambling on, blah, blah, blah. But yes, I'm going to help get all your faces back. Relax. But yeah, that's one issue that people disregard about autism and Asperger's and just anywhere on the autistic spectrum. Now, there are different types of executive dysfunctions or whatever, but I don't remember all of them. But yep, it's basically characterized by executive dysfunction is basically characterized by not having the motivation to do things or to do things thoroughly. I struggle with that. Like, brushing and flossing is one example. Now, don't get me wrong, I do brush and floss, but I have trouble with doing it thoroughly and 100%. Now, I talked about this in one of my previous episodes, but another issue we suffer from is emotional dysfunction, or it can also be called emotional dysregulation or something. But it can be caused by certain emotional problems. And it can also, it causes us to, quote unquote, overreact in certain situations and quote unquote, underreact in certain situations. I'm like that to I cry about a lot of stuff normal people don't cry about, and I don't cry about certain things that other people would cry about. For example, like, I don't cry at, like, funerals, but, I mean, but that doesn't mean I think they're, like, but that doesn't mean I don't think they're sad. Again, I know I've already ranted about it, but I'm gonna rant about it again. I don't like it when people judge others for getting emotional over certain things and not emotional over certain things. Like, people are different, all right? There's just some things people cry over, and there's just some things people don't cry over. Like, people are wired emotionally, especially when you're on the spectrum. If you're on the spectrum, then you have a better chance of, like, being judged for, like, emotional dysregulation issues. You know what? I'm just gonna sell it. I could use the money. But yeah, guys, just please don't judge people for what they cry over, what they cry over, and what they don't cry over, because different people are emotionally wired differently. Just because they don't cry about something, that doesn't mean they don't think it's sad. I mean, I find a lot of things, like, sad and depressing, but I don't cry over it, you know? As long as people don't, like, find, like, certain things funny, like funerals and whatnot, then you shouldn't judge them. But those are going to be other issues that I cover in my book, is the emotional dysfunction issue, and then, like, the executive dysfunction issue. Because, like, those are two things that people don't take into consideration. Like I said, like, I know there's a lot of knowledge about autism that's already out into the world, but we still have a long way to go. So I'm gonna help with offering awareness about things that a lot of people don't really know yet. Speaking of awareness, that's another thing. I'm not really a fan of people who Oh, so there's the Venus Mitra that I was wondering about. But anyway, I'm not I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really a big fan of when people just when people support autism awareness or autism acceptance, but not autism awareness. Now, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. Autism acceptance is extremely important too. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is it's also important to have awareness. People need to have knowledge and information. Otherwise, they're going to be ignorant. and that's one of the and that's one of the what how do I put this? That's one of the claims that people who glorify autism have is we don't need awareness, we just need acceptance. Guys, it's important to have both, all right? It's important to have both awareness and acceptance. How do you... I mean, like I said, acceptance is very important, but how do you expect people to accept something if they don't know about it? Like, that's kind of the thing, too. Like, it's really, we live in a world where it's very hard for people to accept something that they're not aware about. If more people were aware about autism, then more people would accept autism. Because if there's no awareness, then people are going to be ignorant, and they're possibly not going to accept it either. Well, we just need people to be more accepting. Yes, I do agree with that, but they also need to be aware. Otherwise, they're going to be ignorant. It's important to know about stuff, and it's important to be knowledgeable and have information when it comes to this type of stuff. Awareness doesn't have to be like for bad things. It can just be for it can be for things that are good and bad, like autism, for example. Awareness doesn't just have to be doesn't just have to apply to bad things. It can apply to good things. It can apply to good and bad things. It can apply to neutral things. Like, for example, LGBT, it's not bad, but that doesn't mean we don't need awareness on it. But yeah, that's one of the issues I have with people who glorify it. They believe everyone should lack awareness and just like and like I said, I do agree with the acceptance part. I do. Acceptance is extremely important. But so is awareness. Like, people need to have both. Another issue I have, this also comes from people who glorify autism, but I hate it when people shame others for supporting a cure for autism. Now, don't get me wrong, I can, like, a lot of people who do support a cure for autism are ableist, but that's not necessarily the case for everyone. It just depends on the person, like... Oh boy. If you're like someone who treats autism like a disease and you think and you think people should like be forced to have their autism cured, yeah, that's ableism. But if you're just someone who supports an optional cure, like that's not ableism. There are people out there who want a cure for autism. Especially treatments, like if you're gonna shame people for supporting treatments, that's even worse. Because treatments can help alleviate symptoms. Like it doesn't get like it won't get rid of autism. It will just alleviate like certain aspects of it, like mood disorders and like social impairment, etc., etc. Now, I don't think I would want to get rid of my autism spectrum disorder condition, because I do feel like it I do feel like that it does make us who we are in a way. That's one of the reasons why people shame others for supporting a cure. So I do get it. Like taking away a person's autism, it can take away like who it can kind of take away who they are as a person, but it needs to be considered that there are some people who want a cure or at least treatments. Ethan, you're the only one who's decent with scorpions, so I'm giving all of them to you. For example, I don't know if I would want a cure, but for my conditions, but I wouldn't mind the treatments. Because treatments can, like I said, treatments can help to alleviate some of the aspects of it without completely taking it away. So yeah, I have a problem with both sides of the spectrum. The people who treat it like a disease, but the people who glorify it. They can both sides are extremely toxic. It's important to be in the middle. Someone who sees autism as something that's good and bad. Because that's how I see it. I see autism as a blurse, if you will, both a blessing and a curse. And that's how I think everyone should see, like, that's how everyone should see it. Because there are good things about having it and there are bad things about having it. And people should like, and that's the other thing too, is like, I don't like it when I don't like people who think, I don't like people who believe everyone should like have their autism like forcefully cured. But I also don't like the people who don't think there should be like don't think there should be treatments. A cure is far-fetched, but technically you could say that there already are treatments. Maybe not for autism itself, but there are treatments like for things that are linked to autism, like ADHD, anxiety, depression, etc. So technically there are treatment you could argue that there are already treatments for it. Maybe just not for autism directly. I'm gonna wish for money. I need that money. It just falls from the right. Boom. All right. But yeah, those are other opposite sides of the spectrum that I have an issue with. People who think autism should be forcefully cured / treated, but also the people who don't think there should be cures / treatments and who shame others for thinking there should be one. I don't think there should be one for everyone. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people should have their autism forcefully cured. I'm saying, like, there should be cures and or treatments for the people who want it. Like, it's all about balance. You shouldn't treat autism like a disease, but you also shouldn't glorify it. Like, you should meet somewhere in the middle. You shouldn't force a cure on people or treatments on people, but you should at least believe they should be available for the people who want them. All right, thank you, Bernie. But yeah, you shouldn't believe people should be forcefully cured / treated, but you also shouldn't believe that there shouldn't be one available. Because, like I said, there are people who want to be cured / treated. Like I said, I don't think I would want to be cured altogether, but it would be nice to have like certain aspects of it treated. Like my social impairment issues, my anxiety issues, my sensitivity, all that bullcrap. Because one of the really shitty things about autism, well, people without autism can suffer from it too, but it does go hand in hand. But it's like intrusive thoughts, like a lot of people with autism, and including me, believe me, they overthink things and they keep things in their head, and it's hard for us to stop worrying about things. That's definitely me. Like, oh my god, like, I struggle with it so much. Excuse me. Oh no, you're gonna slack off. Fuck yeah. I call slack off fuck off. I'm surprised it took him until just now to use it, because he usually constantly uses it from the very beginning. Don't worry. Don't worry, actual Ethan. I wasn't saying fuck you to you. I was just saying it to your me. But like I said, there are good things about autism. And that's the reason why I don't want to be cured, because it does make me who I am in a way, and it makes me unique in a way, and I feel like people with autism, we see the world. I can't really explain it, but we just see the world differently from neurotypical people, and we just go through life in our own way. Like I said, it's hard to explain, but that's one of the good things. But those are some of the good things about autism. And while autism comes with disabilities, like learning disabilities, and it can make it harder to do certain things, it can also mean the opposite for other things. Like, while we may struggle with doing and learning certain things, we may also be gifted in certain areas. For example, I feel like I'm gifted in writing. One of the reasons why I want to become an author. I feel like I'm also gifted in working with children because I honestly relate to children more than I relate to adults. Possibly because of my autism, because, like, look, guys, people who are on the autistic spectrum, we have, like, we tend to act younger than we actually are. And we have, like, mental ages that are younger, so we relate more to children than we do to adults. Well, at least some of us. I know I'm like this. Oh my god, fuck yeah. Stop fucking off. Oh, alright. Since it defeated all three, I guess I'll let it slide. You know, that would be awesome if the slack off skill. Oh no, not this shit. At least he dodged. It would be awesome if the slack off quirk only activated, like, if, like, all of the enemies had little enough HP for it to still defeat them. And another good thing about autism, like I said, is it feels wonderful finding other autistic people, because I don't know if anyone can relate to me, but when you were guys when you were a lot younger, I'm pretty sure you guys felt alone. Like, for anyone viewing who's autistic like me, I wonder if any of you used to feel like you guys were alone, because I used to feel the same way until I met people who were in the same boat as me. But I'm serious. I used to feel like I was, like, the only one to be as sensitive as I am, but I meet a lot of people who can relate, and I don't know that this. I know this may seem selfish, but I find it comforting. I find it extremely comforting that there are people who are in the same boat as I am. Because as selfish as this may seem, oh yes, thank you, Manton. As selfish as this may seem, it's extremely comforting too. find people who are like in the same boat as you, so you feel less alone. Dale, Blake, Steve, Purple Ethan, and even Green Ethan. I don't think Green Ethan has autism specifically, but he can relate to me in a lot of ways. Same with Ash. I don't think he has autism, but he does have struggles that I have. So, like I said, like, you don't have to have autism to have certain struggles. It can stem from other conditions or just be spontaneous. But it does seem like autism is like makes it more likely, I guess you could say. And stuttering. Another user I recently found is Aaron Thrasher. He seems really funny and relatable. I think he said he was also autistic. I'm not sure, but he does seem relatable. I watched a couple of sorry. You see what I mean? I laugh at the stupidest things. But I watched a couple of rants from him last night. And he seems like a very interesting person. Oh my gosh, stop slacking off. Ooh, yes. Please, please, please drop his or her guard down. But yeah, I watched some of his rants, and he does seem like an interesting and relatable, laid back person. And I love the backgrounds when he makes his rants. For some reason, I find it amusing. There was one background where there was a lot of water bottles. I don't know why I'm laughing. You see, guys, this is what I mean. I laugh at the stupidest things. And then there was a background with a really weird looking smoke detector. But yeah, that's how us autistic people are like. Sometimes random veins pop into our head, even during serious moments. Or sometimes we just laugh at really stupid things. That's how us autistic people are. Another thing about us, I know Dale struggles with it. I kind of struggle with it too, but we're also really sensitive to getting things wrong or making a mistake. That's something else that a lot of us struggle with. I don't know if I'm pretty sure there are other people that struggle with it. I'm not really sure who, but I know I do, and I know Dale does. We feel really, really bad about making mistakes and getting things wrong. That's another issue some of us autistic people struggle with. And it breaks my heart that autism is as overlooked. That's the perfect word to describe it. Underestimated, disregarded, overlooked. It's extremely overlooked. Even by the people who are closest to us, including family, parents, etc. And it really breaks my heart because your parents could do something or say something that you're sensitive to. But you're afraid to like say anything because you may be worried that they're just gonna make fun of you, I guess, or disregard your feelings. Now, I don't really worry about this too much with my dad, but with my mom, yeah. She would like, I don't even like, that's the thing. Sometimes people joke about stuff and like, and like, that's another thing us autistic people struggle with is like, someone may say something as a joke, but we may take it seriously. Like, I struggle with that. And my mom would do that, and it would cause me a lot of distress. Actually, I do remember my my dad did it earlier this year. He threatened us to get all of our heads shaved, including my head, even though I'm a girl, so I was worried that he was serious, so I got worried and I kept asking him, so he laughed his ass off and said no. But yeah, but my mom is worse about it, and it would just put me, at least I but the thing is, I don't even know, like, if my mom was joking or not. That's the thing. Like, my mom would say certain stuff, and I was, like, afraid if she was, like, joking or if she was, like, threatening me. And, yeah, that's another issue. But, yep, that's another issue that some of us autistic people struggle with. Is we struggle with, like, we like, sometimes we struggle with sarcasm. Sometimes we struggle with, like, deciding whether or not a person is joking or if they're serious. Like, that's definitely me, and my mom would take advantage of that, which would put me under a lot of distress. Yep, that's another thing about autism is, like I said, in anxiety, we worry a lot. We have intrusive thoughts, so. And those two things can go hand in hand, like the struggle with jokes. And that can turn into distress. So those two things can go hand in hand. That's part of the reason, one of the main reasons why it sucks having autism is, if you're like me, You feel distressed easily. You feel distressed very often and very easily. That's definitely me. And it would be a lot easier if people were more considerate and less ignorant. Oh my god. Me, Manton, and Green Ethan were just goofing off, and Purple Ethan bumped into us. But if only people were less ignorant and more understanding, then that could honestly spare us a lot of distress. I don't know if I talked. Yeah, I think I talked about it. Sensory issues. That's something my mom is extremely ignorant on. Like, she knows I have sensory issues, but she doesn't care. That's one of the reasons why I'm glad she doesn't live with us anymore. She used to shit on me and act careless about my sensory issues. And that's, and like, well, like I said in my previous video, that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing to deal with when it comes to autism, is just, you know, how people can be ignorant about it. It would be a lot easier if people were more considerate, more informed, less ignorant. Now, don't get me wrong. My mom has some good stuff, but she has a lot to learn when it comes to my conditions. Yeah, I cannot. Man, I really hope, believe me, it would mean the absolute world to me if the books I plan to write were helpful. You guys have no idea how much that would mean to me. Like, that would mean the absolute world to me, and I would probably cry tears of joy all the time if my book was considerably helpful enough. Yeah, we're already getting over an hour and 14 minutes, so. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do this. We'll do one more battle run, then we'll end it off. But yeah, and that's the thing. My mom knows that I have sensory perception disorder, but she's still ignorant about it. Man, I'm feeling distressed right now by talking about it. I mean, I'm feeling better. Like, it feels good to talk about it too, but at the same time, sometimes it gets distressed because when you talk about something, like, you're thinking about it and it gets back into your head. Sus. Suspicious. Oh my god, stop! Damn. Well, that was easy. Yep, Green Ethan, you're right. That was easy. That's what happens when you do a lot of battle runs to get a head start. We'll probably do the lever event in the next episode. I don't want this to run too long, so we'll wait to the next episode. But yeah, that's why I have to make my books in a depth, because even if people may know about certain things, they're still gonna be ignorant. So you have to put as much detail as possible. The more detail you put, the less ignorant people will be, because they could know about certain things, but they may not know about like certain things, or like, you know what I mean, like the other certain things. For example, like I said, my mom knows that I have sensory perception disorder, but back when we were all living together, she was still kind of ignorant about it, so I have to make it in depth. So that her and other people won't be ignorant about it anymore. Aw. The two Ethans. Shiny. Oh, crybaby. Oh god. Oh my god. Screw it. I'll keep it going for a little bit longer. I'll keep this. I like how it looks until we get the steampunk lab gear. That will be your permanent. And the green test tube will be your permanent. Flask. Manton, you are a crybaby. Alright, one more battle one for real. But yeah. I already know the pattern, so I don't need to talk to Meriwether. But yeah, like if it's like your first time, don't worry. You don't have to keep trying new combinations. Merriweather will tell you. All right, that's all you do. All right, I'm glad I decided to just do that anyway because I got to just because that's the only thing, and I get to. All right, good. He bought it. All right, glad I decided to go a little bit longer. All right, hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the roulette wheel. All right, guys, that will be it for this part. Again, I think it's part 6, but I have to check. See you guys later. Bye.